So I've got the cameras on my old sprayer. I've got a giant field. Let's see if precision farming is actually worth it. Now, before we get started, I just want to clear one thing up. Obviously, in my previous precision farming video, I said the modded harvester header didn't work. Yeah, to be fair, Young Adult did notify me this of my mistake. I actually got the rice harvester header out. So now I've got the correct one. And I'm glad to say it works perfectly. Right, let's get cracking with this then. So first up, we're going to need to get some base readings. So I've got my field all emptied out. So field number 3 on 4 fields, it's been harvested, so as empty can be. Now, the first stage that we're going to be doing is going to be putting some lime down. So I've got the old lime spreader from the old Colossus harvester pack. We're then going to be putting some seed in the ground. I'm going to do soybeans on both. So that's going to be putting a layer of fertilizer down and then obviously the seed in the ground. I'm going to come back and we're going to be putting a second layer of fertilizer over with the old Agrifac. I'll put my teeth in. Sprayer will then come over it the following month and get rid of the weeds with a herbicide. Then once it's all done, we're going to use the correct header and the old blue sports harvester. Right, so that's the situation that we're going to be doing. And I'm going to do the same on both runs. So we're going to use all this equipment on the standard run. We're going to load back in. I've saved the field as it is. Then we're going to do the same again on the old precision farming. We are going to have to modify this a little bit, put the old sensors on, but we're going to be using the same equipment to start with. Right, no problem. So let's get cracking with the liming first. And we'll run through all the stages and we'll come back when we're done. Right, so we've reset the field, and obviously, yeah, let's face it, it's empty. It's empty as it could be, as we started off on the first round. Now, the thing with this is, we are going to need to go and buy the field information. I mean, we could have gone and done it with the oldest area scout, but this is a big field. It's going to take a while. So if we go into the old menu, if we click on the field information in the middle, there we are. We're going to purchase the sort information. Wow. 30 grand. Dear, dear. That's, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a big field, but 30 grand. But all right, okay. Now we got the field information. So we can see there that we got a few different things. Pretty much we got everything. We got loamy sand, sandy loam, silty clay, silty clay, and then what was the last one? The loam, the dark grey one. So we've got a bit of everything in this field, which is 100% imaginable because it's a big field. Now, we have made some modifications to our sprayer as well, because obviously we're still using the standard base game one, but we got these little cameras on the side. They're going to be taking a look at what's going on in the field, what's going on in your crop, and then apply the fertilizer, apply the herbicide specifically. Right, fair enough. So what I'm talking about, so we go down into the menu, we'll go into the old sprayer. There we are, that's better. So we go into the sprayer just like that, and we're going to have these three turn on. So Aceria Pro Compact, we're going to turn that one on like that. So obviously, you know, you can see what's going on, and the weed spot spraying, and the pulse width modulation. Put my teeth in. So now we've got all the gadgets on it, so we can see what's actually going on. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's added, what, 104 grand to the price tag? I suppose you potentially might need to factor that in. But all right, let's get cracking with this one then. So we got our final harvest done, and to be fair, the figures are interesting. We'll just say that. Now, if we go into the menu and we go on to the old precision farming, click on the map, and we're going to have a little look at the economic analysis. I don't believe these figures, and I'll tell you why. Right, because it's saying there that we put 76,000 litres of lime down. Great, yeah, I agree with that. But it's saying 17 grand is what it's going to cost us. But if you go into the actual yield improvement menu, and you're going to go buy that fertilizer for 1920 per 1,000 litres, we would have actually spent 147,000. So I'm not sure what's going on with those figures because they don't seem to add up right. That's a little strange. So I've got my own little maths workings out for you. So this is what we're going to go with, because I think it's going to be a little bit, I'd say, more accurate if you're buying from the shop. It could just be me. Maybe it needs an update. Who knows? But this is what I've got so far. So for the lime, on the normal one, we used £80,766 worth of lime. Then obviously that compares with the 147 grand that we spent for the precision farming version. Under the seeds, we used £17,821 worth, and slightly more on the old precision farming, 18,761 we spent on seeds for that. But okay, fair enough. Now, where the fertilizer comes into it, when we seeded, obviously we're doing the seed and fertilizer at the same time. So the first one, that used £35,470 worth of fertilizer, with 1,217 when we went over it again with the standard, additional sprayer. And then on the precision farming one, that was a lot better. That was a hell of a lot better, because obviously depending on the soil type that you've got in your field that you get from your soil sampling, I'll come back to that in a minute. Obviously that's gonna vary quite a bit. I mean, the old soybeans that we put in there didn't require hardly any extra fertilizer, which is why it's so low. I mean, if you've gone for a different crop that's going to need more fertilizer, yeah, that's going to vary wildly. Obviously, on the normal version, the standard base game version, it's just going to put a blanket cover down straight away, and then you're done. All right, okay, so fair enough. So, from a fertilizing perspective, the precision farming is way above it. Liming, no, not good. So, all right, we'll leave it at that anyway. And then, similar sort of thing with the herbicide. Now, on the normal base game version, just under 36 grand we spent on herbicide, but on the precision farming we spent just under 6. So again, because it's not putting a blanket cover across, it's just, seeing the old spotting, the old direct spotting spraying on the weeds, you saved a lot of cash on that. But where it's saved on the herbicide and fertilizer, obviously it it used a lot more on the lime. But then with the precision farming, also you've got to factor in the cost of the old field information, the old field analysis, which was 30,100. So in total, for the normal version, we would have spent 171,183 getting this field done. The fertilizer, the herbicide, the lime, all that sort of thing. But with the precision farming, we spent over 202 grand. So that's like an extra 31 grand. To be fair, most of that was the field analysis. That being said, I mean, you wouldn't need to do that every time, mind you. I'm assuming that's going to be similar sort of thing to like ploughing, like every 3 harvests, and you're going to have to do it again. But still, you've got to do it to get the most out of it. But then we come down to the yield, which is an interesting one, because on the normal one, we got the crop off and we sold it off at the same sell point. We got the old sell everything container over here. So we sold it there. We made 1.8 million, 1,854,562 of the old soybeans. Now, I did the same, obviously harvested it off on the precision farming, and we made 1,441,000. So we're sort of, what's that, 400 grand less? That doesn't seem right. I mean, we did get the yield bonus, because obviously doing it the more efficient, ecologically better way, of 98 grand, but overall we made 1.6 mil for doing it normal way, and doing it precision farming we made 1.3. So we're like 350 grand more or less out of this giant field doing it the precision farming way. Now, don't get me wrong, where the lime's concerned, it did put a lot down. On a precision farming, it was going through it like a dose of salts. So, obviously, lime doesn't need to be done every harvest. So, I'll imagine on a second time around, that'll be a little bit cheaper for you to get going. But still, all right. I mean, starting off, I'm assuming then like precision farming is going to be one of those long-term projects. Yeah, you get it done. You bring it into your whole ecosystem of what you're doing on your farm, because first time round, it's not looking good. All right, fair enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? If you're just in the game just to make cash, yeah, probably is not the best way to go. Probably going to make a little bit more doing the standard version. But if you want to go down the whole immersive route, I mean, the old spot spraying, just, whether it's on the herbicide or the fertilizer, it's just a brilliant addition to the game. And obviously, you play the game how you want, which is so great about this game. There's so many ways that you could play. You know, you could do it, you know, fast farming, you could do it normal, you can do it full immersiveness if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you.